So let's step away from the prescription pad for a moment. We're diving into some data that suggests one of the most powerful tools in healthcare might not be in a pharmacy at all. It might actually be found in a patient's own belief system. This deep dive is based on a study of 112 women with metastatic breast cancer, and it examines this really astonishing link between inner resources, spirituality, specifically in measurable physical health markers.
Exactly. It's an area where, a lot of the evidence tends to be anecdotal, but this research used hard, quantifiable biological markers to actually investigate that connection.
And the main finding is, well, it's pretty counterintuitive, isn't it?
It really is. They found a clear correlation between women who self-reported a high importance of spiritual expression and, well, elevated levels of key immune cells.
And that's what makes this so compelling. The researchers knew they had to be rigorous about this, so they controlled for all the crucial variables, things like age, the exact severity of the disease, current treatments.
Right. They had to do that to make sure they were isolating this one factor, the spiritual one, as much as they possibly could. It set a really high bar.
So how did they even measure something like spirituality?
Well, they did it in two ways. First was the subjective importance a person placed on spiritual expression, their internal feeling,
Yeah.
and the second was more tangible, how often they attended religious services.
Okay, so that's the key distinction then. Which one mattered more? Was it just showing up to services, or was it something deeper?
It was something deeper, and that's what's so fascinating. While they noted attendance, the really strong, statistically significant link was with the self-reported importance of spiritual expression.
So it's the internal conviction, not just the routine.
Exactly. The internal state seems to be what's tied to the biological outcomes.
Okay, so let's get into that biology. What exactly was elevated? What did they find in the blood of these women?
So we saw four key uplifts, and these are all standard blood-based immune markers. First, they had higher total white blood cell counts.
The body's general defense force?
Precisely. And second, greater overall lymphocyte levels. And then crucially, they showed increased T cell counts.
Ah, and the T cells are the specialists.
They are, specifically higher helper T cells. Those are the CD4 cells, kind of the commanders of the immune attack. And also elevated cytotoxic T cells, the CD8 cells. Those are the immune system's dedicated killer cells.
Wow. So we're not talking about some vague feeling of wellness here. We are literally talking about the body having more active soldiers and better leadership in its defense system, all correlated with an inner belief. That's a measurable systemic difference.
It is. Now, we have to be really, really clear on this next point. This study shows correlation, not causation.
Right. It doesn't prove one causes the other.
It doesn't, but it raises a powerful hypothesis. We know that the stress from a severe illness can often be immune suppressive. So the question is, could things like meaning and belief, the resources from spirituality, could they actually buffer against that chronic stress?
The stress buffer hypothesis. That makes sense. But then, wouldn't you see the same immune uplift from, say, dedicated meditation or just a really fantastic secular support group?
That is the central question driving so much psycho-oncology research right now. What's so interesting here is that spirituality often provides a unique framework for transcendent meaning. It may help deal with that overwhelming loss of control that comes with a disease like this, perhaps more effectively than standard stress management alone. It's a mechanism we need to pursue.
So this evidence isn't just theory then. It almost sounds like a mandate for a change in clinical care.
I think so.
It tells practitioners, healthcare leaders, that health isn't only biological. If you ignore the emotional and spiritual dimensions, you're leaving a huge component of wellness on the table.
It pushes the entire system toward prioritizing truly integrative health. It's not just about managing a tumor. It's about recognizing that a patient's own internal resilience, their meaning-making system, may be incredibly relevant to their measurable physical outcomes.
And I think that leads to our final thought for you, the listener. If simply valuing spiritual expression can correlate so strongly with something as physical as your T cell count, what other non-biological dimensions of your life, connection, purpose, community, should you be paying closer attention to for your own well-being? We'll leave that thought with you.